Hello guys, today's video is a poison build. There's tons of games and MMOs where people love poison builds, so why not having one in Destiny? There's just something nice about all that damage over time, all that poison spreading to all the other enemies. It's minimum effort, maximum satisfaction, and I love that. And with this build, you have amazing crowd control, you have survivability, you can become invisible. Yes, you heard it right. You can become invisible in a Strand Warlock, and you have an amazing super that does a lot of damage. And most important, guys, you have a lot of fun playing with this build. Again, there's just something nice about poison builds. As you can see, you just have to shoot one enemy, and honestly, all the poison will spread. And this is because of a combination of Weapons of Sorrow. In this case, I'm using Thorn. I recommend Thorn because end cannons had an amazing buff. They're very, very strong in PvE right now, but if you don't like end cannons on PvE, you can use Osteostriga. And guys, Osteostriga is just amazing. Now, when you're using Thorn or Osteostriga, when you kill an enemy, there's like a poison explosion, and if enemies are caught within that explosion, they will become poisoned themselves. But that stops there. The thing is, if you equip Necrotic Grips, that poison will spread each time an enemy dies. So if there's enemies around, they will keep passing the poison. It's just amazing. It's a bunch of damage. You literally could shoot one enemy with your Thorn and kill 20 enemies. And you just shot one bullet. Even though Thorn is amazing now, you can go up to 40 bullets, but only one can kill 20 if needed, if they're around. So it's really, really good. So let me show you how I built it. I went with Healing Rift for survivability, Strafe Glide, I just like that jump, Arcane Needle, it's the one we can get, and you can have two options in this build. Shackle Grenade, and Shackle Grenade is amazing. You throw your Shackle Grenade and instantly you get suspending enemies. You can stop unstoppable champions with Shackle Grenade. But the cool thing about Shackle Grenade is because of our aspects, when you consume your Shackle Grenade, you get Weaver Strands. And while you have Weaver Strands, every time you kill an enemy, you suspend targets around it. And that suspending explosion will do damage, will suspend targets, plus, because you have your poison, they will be in the air, taking damage to the poison, to the suspending burst. Normally they just die. It's kind of overkill in most of the game. It's really, really strong, guys. It's amazing. I really like it. But some people, they just, if they're in Strand, they're using Grapple. Honestly, I really like Grapple. And Grapple really works with a Warlock as well, because when you're melee hit with your Grapple, you will get 3 spawns of Threadlings. So that's also nice. So this is a choice to you guys. You can either go Shackle Grenade or Grapple Grenade. It's up to you. Both are extremely good. Now, for our aspects. The first aspect, guys, Weave Walk. Now, Weave Walk only gives you 1 fragment slot. That's because it's that strong. It's really good for survivability. For example, with solar builds, you have a healing grenade, you have restoration. With strength, not that much. So what you have on your warlock is weave walk. You just press a button, you dodge, and you go invisible. While you're invisible, you get damage resistance, even though you don't need it because enemies won't find you. And you'll start generating threadlings. That's really, really nice. So this weave walk ability, it will consume your melee ability. We'll keep that in mind. I'll talk a little bit about that. And we are using Mind Spun Invocation. This is the aspect that we talked about, the one that gives you Weaver strengths when you consume your Shackle Grenade, or the one that generates 3 Threadling eggs when you grapple melee. Okay. For our fragments, we can only have 3 because of Weave Walk. There's no problem at all, and it doesn't matter on your grenade choice. The 3 fragments will be the same. Easy one, easy build. Thread of Warding. When you get an Orb of Power, gives you Woven Mail. While you have Woven Mail, you have increased damage resistance. 55% I think right now. It used to be 70. Thread of Generation. Dealing damage generates grenade energy. In this one, guys, it's amazing for this build because you're always doing damage, because you're always doing damage over time because of the poison. So you get your grenade faster. And last one but not least, Thread of Evolution. Threadlings travel farther and deal additional damage. Why are we using this one if it's not a Threadling build? Because our super throws Threadlings. So this one will increase our super damage. And our super damage is really, really strong. And we want to be strong against bosses so we can take this build to raids. For example, when I do Nazareth, I always do it on a Strand Warlock. I really, really like it. And this is the one I use. And when you use the Weave Walk ability, you also generate Threadlings, so it's nice. And if you're using Grapple, you also generate Threadlings, so more damage. Now, our mods, guys. On our helmet, I went with Heavy Ammo Finder and Heavy Ammo Scout. Why? Because I'm always playing in a team, with friends, with my clanmates. So when I get heavy, I also giving them heavy. And when you're using an exotic primary, your chance of getting heavy is bigger. So it fits really well with the build. And Kinetic Siphon. So when we do kills with our Thorn or Osteostriga, you generate orbs. On our gloves, in exotic of choice, Necrotic Grips, I'll be using Font of Vigor. Why? Because my strength stat is not that high, so I'm using this to bump it a little bit, because when we go into Weave Walk, we are spending our melee energy. So strength is a nice one to have a little bit, okay? And Momentum Transfer. When I cause damage with a grenade, it reduces my melee cooldown. I'm only using these two because I'm using a resilience mod and it takes 4. Our chest, it's always the same one for my builds. Defensive stats. Again, if you are dead, you're not doing damage. So I go with 1 arc resistance, 1 solar resistance, and 1 void resistance. And if you're playing an activity where one of these damages are not being dealt, you can double stack a different one, no problem at all. And for our boots, I'm using 2 Kinect weapon surges. So our Thorn or our Osteostriga will hit even harder. And recuperation, so when we get that orb that will keep generating because we're killing a lot of enemies with our primary, I will get health back. So it helps with survivability. On our class item, guys, I'm using time dilation, so longer time with our surges and with our font of vigor that bumps our strength. 1 bomber, so our grenade recharges faster when we use our class ability. And the one and only, the one I love here, proximity ward. When you're doing a finisher, you get a huge, powerful overshield, so you're not dying while you're doing a finisher. And guys, this is the build. I hope you like it. It's a ton of fun to play with it, and try it out and say something in the comments if you enjoyed. How can we improve it? You know, just say something. Don't forget to leave a like, a subscription. Lately, people have been watching more of my videos. Thank you guys. Thank you for that. And I'll see you in the next one.